let's take a look at another formula that we're being asked to rearrange. This is number 9 from our class notes today. So in number 9, we're asked to solve this formula for R. So this right here, this 4R part, that's telling me I want to rearrange this formula to make it say R equals. Right now the formula is telling me what Q equals. It's telling me that Q is equivalent to the quantity R minus T, all divided by the number 2. So we're going to rearrange things to figure out what R is equivalent to. And I'm going to work this like I did in the previous video, where I break it down step by step and I ask myself, what's happening to R? What operations have been performed on R? And I'm going to list those out, and then we're just going to undo all those operations. And that process of solving for R, of undoing all those operations, is going to help us figure out what R is equivalent to. So let's start. I'm going to rewrite my formula. And I'm going to ask myself, what's happened to R? So my R is trapped in my numerator. So the first thing that's happening to R is that it's being subtracted by the number T. And then that entire quantity is being divided by 2. So the first thing that happened to R is it's being subtracted by T. So R is subtracted by the number T. And then after that subtraction takes place, that whole quantity is going to be divided by 2. So then we are taking that quantity and it's being divided by 2. So to figure out what R is equivalent to, we're just going to undo all these operations. We're going to reverse it. We're going to solve for R. So if the last thing that happened to R on this right-hand side is that it's divided by 2, to undo that, we're going to multiply by 2. So I'm going to multiply both sides of my equation by 2. So over here, my left-hand side is going to get multiplied by the number 2, and the entire right-hand side is getting multiplied by the number 2. Technically over here, I have a 2 over 1. So when I multiply my left-hand side out, I'm going to get 2Q. And I'm just going to rewrite this a little bit just so I can see it a little more clearly. I have the number 2 in my numerator being multiplied to this R minus T in the numerator. And since order doesn't matter in multiplication, I'm just going to flip-flop that order to make it look a little more familiar. Normally, a constant comes in front of a group if we're going to distribute. And then my denominator, I have 2 in the denominator times 1 in this denominator, and 2 times 1 is just 2. But we can see that the 2 in the numerator, so this factor, and this 2 in the denominator are going to divide to 1. So in essence, multiplying by 2 kind of undoes this division by 2. So these are going to divide to the number 1, and I'm going to be left with 2 times Q equals R minus T. So essentially, we undid the division by 2 using multiplication. So now I see that my number R is being subtracted by T. So I'm just going to undo that. So if R is being subtracted, oh, where did the sticks come from? We're going to make this a T. I only have enough battery power for 1 take, so we're just going to go with this. So if R has been subtracted by T, okay, to undo that, we're going to add T to both sides. So to my right-hand side, I'm going to add the number T, and to the left-hand side, I'm going to add the number T. So the quantity on the left-hand side now is 2 times Q plus the number T. And on the right-hand side, subtracting T and then adding T, those are opposites. So those are going to add to 0. And I'm left with R on the right-hand side. So now I've solved for R. I know what R is equivalent to. R is equivalent to 2 times Q plus T. And we're done. We have solved our original formula for R.